Hello, and welcome to another edition of Play Me or Fade Me. Thank you for joining us as always. Well, it's time for another special edition podcast. Another holiday coming up. New Year's is around the corner. Great time for us to look back at our accomplishments, our failures, I guess, for 2025. We'll do a little bit of it on this podcast, but we are going to go five wide. Unfortunately, we're not able to be joined here tonight by Coda Capra Kyle, but we will have Dan and Maryland on here. Juice Man Pace on here. Chad is back from his suspension. And we also have Larry in the car in California. He's with us here tonight as well. So welcome to the show, gentlemen. And I'm going to lead off with a question. If yet we're forced to make a wager right now on the college football national champion, who would you go with? Let's start with Juice Man Pace. Where are you leaning for your college football national champion?
Yeah, I think I'm going to take Oregon at plus 750. Dante Moore, I'm a big fan of him. And if they get by Texas Tech here, of course, you move on. And, if there's some chaos down the line, maybe Bama beats Indiana. I don't know. Maybe this isn't Indiana's year. And last year was kind of the year. And, I'd like that Oregon-Bama matchup if it ends up being that. I like Oregon to win that. So I'll take Oregon at plus 750. I think that's a real nice price.
I was actually leaning towards Oregon as well. I do not think it'll be Indiana, but let's find out what LWO Sports in Maryland thinks. What do you think, Dan?
All right, so we're already in direct conflict because if I got a free $100, I want to take a swing. So I'm going to make a swing with Texas Tech in the plus 900. That's not necessarily who I want to win. I'd like to see Indiana go forward and make some noise, but if I'm putting a free $100 down, it's going to be that plus 900 with Texas Tech.
Okay, so a little head-to-head right now in the quarterfinals. And if I'm wrong about the Texas Tech game against Oregon, I may be completely wrong about Texas Tech because that's how it tends to go. I'm just looking at it saying, was the Big 12 tough enough? Did it prepare them? We'll find out, of course. So that could be an interesting flyer because they have high upside. I just don't know exactly how good that team is yet. Let's go to Larry in his car in California. What do you got, Larry? What do you think?
I'm going to go with Juice Man. I would take the Ducks. I like the setup for them. I like their wide receivers are getting healthy. They look good.
Okay. And then, unfortunately, our college football expert, Coda Capra Kyle's not here. So back from suspension, we have to give Chad some airtime. Chad, don't value your opinion, but what do you think?
I was going to say, action. I didn't know. Thank you so much. Thought you were calling me the college football expert. That was so sweet of you. No, I like to hear Larry and Juice Man Pace's take on Oregon because I love the Ducks in this first game. A little teaser for one of my picks later. But I think if I had to pick, I like Georgia. I think they are the most complete team in the playoffs, and think they probably are the team to beat.
And right now, I think the betting number on Georgia, I mean, they're the third favorite, so good value there on them as well. Probably that plus 400, plus 500 type of range. So pretty good play there on the Bulldogs. Ohio State, I think can win it, of course. I think Oregon can win it. I like Georgia as well. Those would be the three I would touch. Indiana's the one I'll be fading throughout the playoffs, and we'll see if Curt Cignetti continues to make me pay for that. So now let's go around the horn, and we're going to start making some picks on this show. Let's lead off with Juice Man Pace. Juice, what do you got?
Yeah, so last week I didn't do anything on the night that we were recording, and I'm going to switch it up here. So you got about 57 minutes to get this in, but I'm going to take Zion Williamson from the Pelicans. Over 20.5 points. He's been coming off the bench. He's been very efficient coming off the bench. So they're taking on the Knicks here. I think you can see some action, and they're at home here with back-to-back losses to the Suns. But, Zion's had a great December. He's been putting up 20 points or more in a lot of these games here in December. So 20.5. I'm seeing some 21s out there too. So if you like it, jump on it right away. You got about 57 minutes to go.
Okay, so there's a tonight pick from Juice Man Pace as we're on the live episode. You can follow us once again on YouTube. You can follow us also on X with the live show as well. LWO Sports, let's go to you for your first pick this week. What do you got?
All right, so my first play, I'm going with Manchester United minus 1.5 at a plus 108. So I know Chad's caught a lot of grief on here, but it's clear that he made it on Santa's nice list this year. And not only did he receive a Browns victory on Sunday, but he also got what he really wished for, a midweek Premier League slate to close out 2025. So, of course, we have to have some plays there. For the first, I'm fading the Wolverhampton Wanderers, who are visiting Old Trafford to face Manchester United. Wolves have been historically bad this season. They have the third worst 12-match losing streak in EPL history and have set the record for the worst season start with only 2 points in the first 18 matches. At that rate, they may not just get relegated to the championship division next year. They might skip straight to League One. Meanwhile, United sits at 6th on the table with only goal differential separating them from Chelsea for the Europa League position. They're coming off their second clean sheet of the season and a 1-0 Boxing Day victory over Newcastle. This will be the second matchup between United and Wolves this season. The Red Devils dominating the first 4-1 on the road. I just don't see the Wolves faring any better in enemy territory. So give me Manchester United victory by 2 or more at the +108.
A blowout in soccer? Is that what we're saying?
Yeah. I mean, 2 goals, that's about as blowout as you get.
Okay. Chad was nodding in agreement, so I think he agreed with you. And I forgot, I do have questions here on New Year's that we're going to be asking everyone. So let's see if I'm smart enough to figure out to switch the screen here. So your question for the group, and we'll just go around the entire group. When you think about your 2025 betting year, what accomplishment stands out the most? Let's actually start with Juice Man Pace. This was supposed to be your question right away.
Yeah, I think I've hit some pretty big dogs in college football since we're on college football right now. Week 1, I took Florida State over Bama. And if it was any time to bet Florida State this season, week 1 was kind of hit, really. So they're plus 450 against Bama there on August 30th. And, that felt pretty good. Got to put that feather in my cap. 2 years ago, I took Stanford over Deion Sanders, Shadur, all those cats. And Stanford came away with that was a wild game there. In Boulder there. So that was another big underdog in college football that I hit. So, yeah, I seem to find a little bit of value on the board in college football. And, week 1, it came early, but at least it came with Florida State plus 450 money line over Bama there.
That was a nice way to start the year for you in college football, without a doubt. LWO Sports, I kind of believe the number 17 may be in your answer. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I tried to think of something that I could throw in this spot, but I don't think anything could beat or ever will beat going 17 for 17 back in May on our daily best bets. I hope somebody in the Discord can beat me on that, but that was pretty awesome, and I never really found the words to explain that one.
Yeah, and it's one thing to win 17 in a row in one day. It's another to have to make it a best bet over 17 consecutive days. I think that's an even bigger accomplishment. Chad, I'm not sure if you have any accomplishments, but just curious what you're going to say.
Some highs, a lot of lows for sure. But one moment action really stands out, and that was when Dan's amazing coaching led his son's youth football team to that championship win. Not only was that great for the kids, yeah, but I also hit my underplay, and that Venmo payment from you was so sweet. That's got to be the highlight.
Yes, we bet on a 7U football game. Chad and I are willing to bet on anything, and we were texting Dan for updates. We needed a score. We couldn't find a live stream of the 7U game, and when he gave the score, I was like, why didn't you go for 2? Why didn't you give up some points? We didn't try to put the fix in the game. We wanted the kids to have fun, but yeah, I could see that as a highlight. And unfortunately, you've had a string of them against me here. I don't want to admit that, but that's part of the rivalry we have building is yeah, you've been cashing a few too many tickets against me here lately. Larry, what about you?
You know what? Baseball, I just really enjoyed grinding. I didn't mind taking those minus 160s, those minus 170s, even those series props minus 180. Had a lot of positive months. I mean, you had to win 2 for every loss you hit, but you were able to win 2 out of 3 of those, which I was able to do over the summer. It was positive.
And Larry, positive units is kind of your trend. I mean, you had the stretch. How many straight months did you turn profit?
I think we had 9 straight months and 11 out of 12.
11 out of 12. So I think that's one of the big questions when we talk about it. Who is more of the Knish on this podcast? Is it Larry or is it me who just kind of grinds it out?
I'm not afraid to take those minus 170s. Just hit 2 out of 3 of them.
Yeah, just win. And my answer to that question, I guess, is I'm 3,000 bets into the podcast this year, still up over 60 units. So once again, a lot of ugly days, but I just stay the course, grind it out, and we turn profit. And that's what I kind of enjoy about it. So Okay, let's go to Chad for your first pick here tonight. What do you got?
Yeah, so I kind of teased it earlier, but I'm going to ride with Oregon. It's minus 128 on Better Edge. So the Big Ten has been rolling this bowl season, including that huge Penn State win Dan alluded to in the Pinstripe Bowl, which many are calling the biggest non-New Year's Six game. Okay, maybe that's just me. Look, Texas Tech is no joke. They've got a nasty defense, and they're 9-1 straight up and ATS over their last 10. They can absolutely win this game, but they haven't played in almost a month. Meanwhile, Oregon just had what felt like a glorified scrimmage against JMU. They crushed them. I don't think the final score even showed how dominant they were in that game. The Ducks have rattled off 7 straight wins since that Indiana loss. And there's a stat that I saw that really made me circle this game for Oregon. Over their last 42 games, the Ducks are 38-4. 4 losses, that's it. And those came against Washington twice, who were 2023's title runner-up, Ohio State, the defending champ, and Indiana, who's the current number 1 team in the country. So that's elite company. So yeah, Tech is tough, but Oregon's pedigree and their momentum are another level. And hearing Juice Man and Larry talk about the Ducks possibly winning it all, I love this pick even more. So give me the Ducks to win on New Year's Day.
Okay, Chad, I want to go head-to-head with you. I want to really be mad at you, but unfortunately, when Larry was in Vegas, he said, what's one play for the playoff games? And I said, you know what, January 1st, I may be using my Bazooka of the Year. I'm probably going to be on Oregon as my Bazooka of the Year, play of the year, the first day of the year. So wow. I'm in complete agreement with you on the Ducks. I can't wait for that game. I think Oregon wins that. I think they have the best quarterback in college football. So, yeah, that's my opinion on that. Next, let's go to a question here, and I'll try to hit the right button again. Looking back on this year, what's one sports betting decision you'd do differently? So give me one regret. Start with Juice Man Pace.
I mean, this is fairly simple. Don't bet Old Dominion. I mean, it was my play of my life of the year. Just I mean, hey, we joke about it all the time with action. They scored a couple late to make it kind of close there. Not really though. So yeah, maybe stay away going into 2026 from my plays of the year. Maybe I just won't make any of those because they never work out. I think I'm honestly 0-4 in my last 4 play of the years. So just not real great for me. So yeah, I think we'll stay away from ODU for sure next college football season and maybe the play of the years too.
Okay. Well, I used to do 4 plays of the century every year, and I stopped doing that. It helped me too. So that's maybe a good idea. Okay. LWO Sports, what's your favorite one?
So one thing I did eventually do differently is I pared down my card a lot. I used to be a spray the board guy, and I learned about halfway through the year. I pared down my card, started doing better. But the one thing that I look back on and regretted is over the course of that 17 in a row, I didn't have those parlayed together or laddered. And I probably wouldn't have to have my day job now had I done that.
2020 hindsight on that one. You never know when that run's coming. You can't get too high, can't get too low, right? Okay, Chad, what do you got?
Yeah, Dan, I agree with you on the card size. I fell into those traps in those long summer days where I was betting almost every baseball game. Didn't go well. So I've also tried to do that as well. The other thing is Indiana. So I know you guys mentioned, Action, you're fading Indiana. I would love to fade Indiana with you, but I've been fading Indiana all football season long, and that has not worked out well for me. So I hope they get beat so I don't have to be tempted to fade them any longer in the football playoff.
Okay, and I've been there with teams. Definitely, that's why I used to put them on my no-bet list for 30 days. When the handicap's wrong on a team, it stays wrong oftentimes. Larry, what do you got for this question?
I mean, you say it every night, manage that bankroll. I just got to listen better in 2026. You know, if I played everything at one unit, I would have been much better off. But there's just times where I love that play. Kind of like what Juice Man said, play of the year as well. I had too many play of the years. Sometimes it pays off, but it didn't pay off more than I wished it would. And overall in 2025, those plays of the months and 2 units and 3 units, I lost more of those. So 2026, I got to do what you say every day. Manage that bankroll. I just got to play 1 unit.
Okay, and I get that one. And for me, it doesn't happen on the podcast, but I need to stay away from live wagering because that's been like the kiss of death for me. No good. Not when the game's going the wrong way already, it just keeps going the wrong way for me. Yeah, I always think I'm going to get this regression during the game. A team shooting 90%, they'll cool off. Nope. They set records when I bet that trend. So I'm going to stay away from that. Other than that, I think one of the things as the host that I start on I'll give you an example. Right today, when I did the college football show with Juice Man Pace and Coda Capper Kyle last Monday, I was on Georgia Southern. I put Georgia Southern on my card for today. What did I do? I ended up flipping to App State last night. It's like, okay, if I'm going to flip, I just should stay away from the game because if I had the percentages on it, I guarantee I lose money when I do a complete flip. That's where it's like my when in doubt, bet the first half under, would have cashed today. So I looked at the game and said, okay, if I would have went with my original handicap for a week, I would have cashed. If I would have done the when in doubt bet, it would have cashed. What did I do? I picked the only way to lose on that game. And so those are the types of things I'm going to try to avoid more of this year. It's like, just stay away from a game, or I can just not bet a game. To some of the other points out there, betting so many games, I could actually skip a game. How about that? Okay, I think we left off with Larry. You're up next. What do you got for a pick, Larry?
Are you allowed not to bet a game? I didn't realize that was in the rule book.
Well,
Okay.
I'm going to do more of that next year.
Yeah, I'll try to also. Good luck with that to myself. All right, I'm going with a teaser again. I hit it last week, so I'm just going to go back to it. Chad, I love the Browns. They won their Super Bowl last week. They looked great. They have great defense. I just don't see them being able to duplicate that performance. So I'm going to tease Cincinnati down to -1.5, and you got to go in on Denver. I mean, Chargers, they've already announced they're resting their starters. Herbert's not even dressing up. I saw it at -7.5 this morning, so I got that down to 1.5 as well. So I got a teaser going -120, Bengals and Denver.
Okay, yeah, Trey Lance is going to start, I believe, there for the Chargers, which Juice Man and Pace and I have a vested interest in that guy typically. So thank you for that, Larry. I like that play. Thank you, Fat Daddy 14, for joining the Discord. Apologize. The link, we'll try to post that out there. Without Kyle here, I'm just not the multitasker, so that's what's going on with that. Let's go to another question. And this question will start once again with Juice Man Pace. What was the funniest podcast moment for you in 2025?
Oh man. Dang, that's a good one. We've had some good banners on the Super Show. I know we had some good banners. So, man, I might have to come back to that one action. So, something from the Super Show. I'll just say that.
Okay. LWO Sports, what was your favorite or funniest moment on the podcast? Maybe it was even my pronunciation of something. Who knows?
Oh man, we've had some good ones on Play Us or Fade Us. I gotta say, I think the first time Larry dropped their trash on us, I think that got the biggest laugh and has become kind of his slogan. So I'll go with their trash drop.
Okay. Didn't see that coming from Larry. There's no doubt Play Us or Fade Us has provided a ton of funny moments. Speaking of funny, here's Chad.
Yeah, I liked what it never worked out for us, but when we were trying to bust out the MC Hammer on our hammer plays, I think every time we did that, we lost, so it didn't work. But we found that funny internally anyway. And then the other one from Larry, Dan, I don't remember what he exactly did, but remember we were doing some Better Edge live feed or live read, and he made some noise like sound effect, and you and I could not stop laughing at that. Larry, if you remember that, I wish you could reenact that sound effect you did.
Hoo-yah!
There it is.
Larry, what was your funniest moment?
We just have a blast. Anytime I'm with Chad and Dan together, three amigos, man, we just have a lot of fun with each other before the show, during the show, and after the show.
Okay. And one of the moments I remember with you guys, I was driving to Montana for a wedding, was not in a good mood, listening to the podcast. You guys were like singing Go Cubs Go. The singing skills between the three of you.
Another game we lost, but at least we had fun.
Yes, trust me. I doubled up on that one. And then the one thing I'll share here that is just a personal one that you guys don't know about. So when I'm solo, this is my mic for my solo podcast. And then after the show, I put on this headset on that I'm with you guys. So I can't tell you how many times, because the headset would be plugged in at the end, how many times I record the podcast with this mic, but it's not plugged in. And I have probably done that about 10 times over the last year where I thought I did the podcast and like the audio, you can barely hear it. Well, that's because it's on the headset that's over to the right of me. And so those are some of the funny moments for me that you don't get to see. It's like, oh my goodness, how did I make that mistake? And it's cost me a lot of time in life. But Juice Man Pace, let's go back to you for pick 2. What do you got?
Yeah, so I'm going to go January 2nd here, Arizona and SMU. Arizona may be one of the hotter teams in college football at the moment, but I'm going to take the under here of 52.5. It opened up in early December at 51.5, so really hasn't moved much, but both these teams have been under teams so far this season. 8-4 to the under so far this season. 7-3, both these teams to the under in their last 10 games. When Arizona is the favorite, they're 6-2 to the under. When SMU is an underdog like they are here, they're 2-1 to the under. So I was fading Arizona a little bit late in the season. I was like, oh, they're an over type of team. But that defense came to play late in the year, and I think that continues here on Friday.
Okay, thank you very much. An under, very exciting, Juice Man.
That's
we
right.
love those unders. Hopefully it works out better than my unders did yesterday. Trying to remember. I don't remember. I think I broke even on the unders. Never mind. Maybe it wasn't as bad as I was thinking. And by the way, nice job sporting the Twins and the Wild here on the show tonight. So thank you very much for that. Okay, next question for the board here. What's the one wager you remember the most from 2025, and how did it end? I'm going to be curious on this answer. Start with Juice Man Pace.
Oh, man. I made a fairly large wager. Let's see if I can find it here. In December, a 3-figure wager on an under, going back to an under, UNLV and Ohio. This happened, last week? And it was my biggest bet of the year. It's kind of a quiet one. I didn't really gloat about it too much. Didn't really put it out on social too much. And it worked out. So I don't know. Maybe that's the move for 2026. Just don't try and hype your plays up so much. But that from the first two possessions by both teams, you knew the under was going to hit. It was a pretty high under, and it hit by like 40-some points. So, yeah, I think that's probably my most memorable one just because, again, it was my largest one of the season. So, yeah, that would be mine.
Okay, nice work on that. LWO Sports, what do you remember?
I think my favorite was the college baseball playoffs had just started. I think it might have only been my second or third college play on the podcast, and I went out on a limb. I took Stetson, said they were the wrong team was favored in that game, and I dropped the Stetson like plus 250, 260, somewhere in there. And I was sweating that one out all night, but they pulled it through for me and got my first big cash on the podcast.
Okay, very nice. Chad, what do you got?
It's funny because I think when we started the Players for Fade Us show, we were doing the parlays of the week, right? And so I don't remember the exact bets that entailed it, but we actually, I think we won our first two, and we're like, this is awesome. We're great at this. And then I think we ended up losing like the next 20 in a row. So I just remember those first couple. It was like, this is awesome. We're doing so great with these parlays. This is so easy. And come to find out, it's not that easy.
Yes, you guys did have a little beginner's luck to those parlays, I think. Yeah. Okay, Larry, what do you got?
Oh, it was definitely the Dodgers after they lost Game 5 and they were down 3-2. The Players for Fade Us show made the pick, but didn't even consult me on it. And I'm like, boy, if Dan and Chad are both throwing plus money on the Dodgers, then I personally got to do it as well. It was personally great. For my bankroll, it was great. It was awesome. Game 6 and 7, just awesome.
This is funny. I obviously created the question. I thought about all of my answers. All 4 of you go to a winning wager. I can't remember a winning wager. All of my memories are losers. So I was trying to remember, I had a plus 8.5 in college basketball, lost by 9 in double overtime. I'm thinking like the games where it was like the bad beat of the century. Those are the things I remember. But the one that I'll remember the most, I guess, is winning 14 straight bets in college football and then having a guy that's on this panel go head-to-head with me and end all the mojo. So that bet, once again, would have been Texas A&M against Miami of Florida. So that was my most memorable wager from 2025. I could go through 10 wagers. All 10 of mine that I remember are losers. That's just my DNA, I guess. I don't remember winners. I only remember the losers, and they stick with me. And sometimes I'll wake up at about 3 a.m. and like, oh, I'm mad at someone. So, okay. That was that question. That was fun. Where do we leave off? I think we're going to LWO Sports for pick 2. He's probably going cricket or darts. Where are you going next?
Well, so I have a question for everyone, and you don't have to come off mute and answer it because I already know the answer. But what could be better than closing out 2025 with an English Premier League win? Well, pairing that with another win to start 2026, obviously. And that's why I'm running it back with my favorite EPL parlay, which we also hit last week. And we're taking Arsenal and Manchester City on a money line parlay at a plus 113. So on Tuesday, Arsenal will host Aston Villa in the highlight match of match week 19. Villa has been a freight train lately. They have reeled off a club record tying 11 straight wins and have climbed to third on the EPL table. But Arsenal has been pretty good themselves, only losing once in the last 24 fixtures. That loss came to the hands of Villa on the road, making this the perfect revenge spot at home for the Gunners. Despite their run, Villa has conceded in 6 straight, while Arsenal has kept the most clean sheets in the Premier League. And I think that defense gives them the edge. For the second leg, City rings in the new year at Sunderland, looking to extend their 6-match EPL win streak. Sunderland has been trending in the opposite direction lately and is coming off a 1-1 draw with lowly Leeds. Part of their hindrance is due to the EPL leading 6 players that are away at the African Cup of Nations. I don't see them turning the corner against this rocket that is Man City, so give me Arsenal and Manchester City to bookend New Year's with victories at a plus 113.
I did a little research on Man City. I think somebody, maybe it was you, Dan, that posted a Man City play in the Discord over the weekend. I'm like, this team looks pretty good. I mean, the record, everything looks impressive. So I'll jump on that and tail that with you. So there we go. Let's go to Juice Man Pace. If you had a New Year's resolution for gambling on something that you plan to do better or want to improve on, what would it be?
Oh, I think somebody mentioned this kind of earlier, but like you don't have to bet every night, right? I know, like, trying to do a community and get plays out to the Discord, like, it's kind of falls on our shoulders. Like, yeah, if I'm not putting a play out, like, we're not building something, right? But I'm kind of doing that with college basketball here late. I'm kind of waiting till conference play starts, just to kind of figure out how these teams are kind of going. So, that's going to be one of my resolutions for 2026 is just to chill out a little bit. I want to get to the window as fast as anybody. I'm looking at lines the night before, all that jazz, but like, you just take your time, really dive into something. If you love something, great. Go over it again. You love it a second, third time, maybe. So just to chill out, right? Pick your spots more. I think that's kind of one of my resolutions for 2026.
I like that. And that's what I've been trying to do a few times here lately is, okay, let me make the case against my play. And I'm crossing a lot of things off my list when I start doing that. Yeah. LWO Sports, what's your resolution?
Well, not to be boring, but I got to say right along with those lines. And I'm a big, content guy. I want to get stuff out there. I want to be on the Discord, posting my best bets and getting a play out for the day. But I don't know who said it first, but sometimes the best bet is the one you don't play. So I've gotten a little bit better lately, but still have some room to improve. I mean, if I just don't love something, it's probably best to just sit it out.
Okay, Chad, what do you got?
Well, there's a laundry list as you would imagine, actually, but I would say probably parlays. I mean, I went back and looked at my record and what I've tracked, and it's ugly. I mean, a lot of times if it's true, looks too good to be true, it probably is, and so I've tried to really cut back on that towards the end of the year, but the temptation is real. So I'm trying to be more disciplined with that and just kind of getting rid of these 3-4 leg parlays just for the thrill of it, and really trying to be more disciplined as we go into next year.
Okay, Larry.
It's really all of the same. I agree with Chad with the parlays. Juice, we got to hang out more. Everything you said, I just copy and pasted. I mean, just got to hold back, press pause a little bit more, and just take a deep breath before making some of these plays. Well said, Juice Man.
Okay, and then I think my resolution is, well, part of what I do is I look at where I lost units and made units for 2025 and the years prior. Big hole for me, a sport I love to bet on that I'm absolutely terrible at, golf. So that's kind of my resolution. I'm going to figure out a different strategy for golf this year. So I'm spending some research time on that, and I'm going to have a game plan. It just hasn't been a sport that clicks for me. Masters, maybe it works out, but then after that, it definitely goes downhill. So I guess that's my resolutions. I want to come up with what I am going to kind of have as a calling card in golf. I want to zone in on one type of wager, really bet that every single week, and then figure out how to make it work. And the other thing for me is probably play a few more plus money plays. You guys have made some things work with some alt numbers and stuff like that. I know the short road favorites in college football didn't work out, but the numbers, when you take a look at a lot, because I went back and looked at the NFL last 25 years, you have less than 8% of the games that finish with a 1 or a 2-point margin. Am I better off, instead of grabbing plus 2.5, just grabbing the money line? And the math seems to work out on a lot of those situations. So I'm going to look for a few more plus money opportunities, I think, in 2026. That's probably on the list as well. Chad, let's go for your second pick. What do you got?
So I'm going to roll with the Panthers +3 against the Bucks on Saturday. You just said maybe I should look at the Panthers money line, but I got this at a -102 on Better Edge. Now, let's be honest. Neither team is lighting it up right now, but Tampa looks like they're in a full-on tailspin. They're 4 straight losses, 7 of their last 8. They're just 2-8 over their last 10 and an ugly 1-9 against the spread. I mean, they've been brutal, and they've only won by more than 3 points twice all season. I mean, think about that, just twice. The team is reeling, and honestly, it feels like Todd Bowles might have lost the locker room. I mean, early season chatter was Baker Mayfield might be the MVP. That feels like a lifetime ago. So I expect this to be low scoring, grinded out kind of game. And in those spots, give me the points. I like having that +3 in my pocket. I get it. Betting on Bryce Young in a game this big is risky. But over the last month and a half, the Panthers have looked like the more complete team. They're playing more balance, and they're showing that they can hang in these tight games. So I'll take the road dog with the points. Give me the Panthers +3.
So this is a good situation for me. Normally, Chad and I like to bet for gas money, but I'm actually flying to Jacksonville here in a couple weeks, so I need airfare. So, Chad, you send that head-to-head to me on Better Edge, because Tampa Bay is going to be my 4th play of the month, could be my 3rd play of the year, and yes, I love the Buccaneers this weekend. I guess it's a new year, so if I don't use my play of the year on Oregon, it may be on Tampa Bay come Sunday or Saturday, whenever that is. But yes, I love the Bucs, so you and I are going head-to-head on that one. That's the way I like to end this show. Exactly. Larry, what do you got for your final pick?
I want to go back to the funniest moment, because when Dan was doing his handicap, it reminded me of one time when Dan wasn't on the show and Dan gave me and Chad the script, and I'm reading off what Dan was writing, and Chad just stops and says, I think Dan's making some of these names and words up right in the middle of the show. So anyways, I had to go back to that for a second. All right, my second pick, it's on New Year's Day. It's here in Southern California. It's the first quarter under 10.5 at -130, but maybe action after what you just said. Maybe we just go with under 10 and we can get that at plus money. Look, we usually get beautiful weather in Pasadena on New Year's Day. It's going to rain. It's going to rain a lot. It's starting on Wednesday afternoon. It's going to go off and on through Thursday. The field's going to be soaked. You add that into both teams. They just have great defenses. They scheme extremely well early in games. Look at Indiana in the Big Ten championship. Didn't really score in the first quarter. I think there was 10 total points. But Alabama, they start slow. 2 weeks ago versus Oklahoma, 0 points in the first quarter. SEC championship, 0 first quarter points. Earlier in the year, Oklahoma, 0 first quarter points. With the playoff atmosphere, 2 elite defenses, these teams typically start slow. Now you get a soaked field. I'm going with the under 10.5 in the first quarter. I think it's a great bet.
Larry, you bring special teams props, you bring first quarter bets. You are all over the board with your plays. I love it. Give us a little variety out there. My 2 plays that I'm going to go with, one is a Dan head-to-head or a back-to-back situation of the NHL. It's the Pittsburgh Penguins on the money line against the Carolina Hurricanes on Tuesday. The Canes hosted the Rangers on Monday, so we'll fade them in the back-to-back spot on Tuesday. Then I have a flip the script spot in the NHL. I'll be on the Toronto Maple Leafs on the money line against the New Jersey Devils. The Devils won the first meeting 5-2, so let's flip the script here on Tuesday and take the Leafs at home. College basketball numbers were not out for me yet, so no official plays for me in college basketball. I do have a lean towards Creighton, lean towards Stanford, Marquette, Loyola Marymount, Charlotte, and Princeton, but those are unofficial plays because I do not have the numbers yet to be able to get those in. And if it moves a possession, I'll be backing off of those plays. But gentlemen, thank you for a great 2025. I look forward to 2026 with you. A lot of fun things here going on with the podcast coming up for next year. So let's finish the year strong. I'm limping in. Hopefully you guys can carry me over the finish line. And for everyone that listened to the show this year, thank you very much. For everyone that joined live here on YouTube and X, thank you much for joining us. And until we meet again, manage that bankroll. Don't chase money. Have fun. And let's cash some tickets together. Good luck, everyone.